Anderson will soon discover just how important unifying his men is.
The door to battalion headquarters opens, and in walk a bunch of generals. They swear me to secrecy and get right to the point. How long before you can be prepared to make a combat assault into Cambodia?
And I said, are we talking about in terms of hours, days, weeks, months? And they said, we're talking about hours.
For years, the North Vietnamese have used neighboring Cambodia as a refuge. Much of the Ho Chi Minh Trail runs through the country, and large stores of enemy weapons and supplies are hidden along the border. But since the start of hostilities, U.S. policy has prohibited its ground troops from entering the country for risk of widening the war. In early 1970, however, President Nixon sees a window of opportunity when the Cambodian leader Norodom Sihanouk is ousted by the pro-American general Lon Nol. Despite the political risk, Nixon decides a chance at destroying the NVA's capacity to launch assaults into South Vietnam is worth the gamble, and so he issues top-secret orders, sending U.S. troops into Cambodia.
It's like a shot of adrenaline, straight into my veins. Within hours, hundreds of soldiers are assembling. Massive amounts of ammo and supplies are being flown in and distributed. No one can contain their excitement. We've been waiting a long time for this. A chance to cross that forbidden line and see what's on the other side. We're finally going into Cambodia. I haven't slept in almost 24 hours, and yet I feel more awake now than I ever have in my life.
Lieutenant Colonel James Anderson is leading his battalion from the 1st Air Cavalry into Cambodia. Ahead of them stretch waves of tactical fighters and B-52 bombers, while below race mile-long columns of mechanized infantry and armor. Altogether, 30,000 U.S. troops are poised for action. Their mission is twofold. First, decimate enemy sanctuaries and disrupt NVA supply lines along the Ho Chi Minh Trail. And second, attempt to find and destroy the Communist Military Command Center known as Casvin, which is rumored to be located in the Fishhook region.
As soon as we hit the ground and get organized, we move out. I don't intend to waste any time finding what the enemy has been hiding.
Roger, we just come up on a trotter here. I think it's into a small village. Don't seem like there's any movement in there.
It doesn't take long. Within 2 hours, we come across a massive enemy training and supply dump.
Start coming this way, up.
Right away, the guys start calling it the city, because it has almost everything you could imagine that you would have in a city.
That you would have in a city any place else. You had schools, you had hospitals, you had ammunition storage areas. I don't know how many tons, hundreds of tons of rice that were in there. I was shocked that they had it, that it was that large and it was that close to the border. I don't think we were more than
7 miles into Cambodia. So if there's that much here, I can only imagine how much is out there. There's so many supplies, it'll take months to destroy it all. And the last thing I want to do is get so hung up with this that we fail our primary objective. So I ordered 2 of my rifle companies to stay back at the city and oversee its destruction, while I take the other 3 companies and head out to find the NVA headquarters.
While Anderson and his men speed towards their objective, President Nixon prepares to deal with the political problem, the uproar that the news will surely provoke. He decides to take the offensive so he can frame the issue before others do.
Tonight, American and South Vietnamese units will attack the headquarters for the entire communist military operation in South Vietnam. This is not an invasion of Cambodia. The areas in which these attacks will be launched are completely occupied and controlled by North Vietnamese forces. We take this action not for the purpose of expanding the war into Cambodia, but for the purpose of ending the war in Vietnam and winning the just